Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today I have my Those Eyeshadows update for you guys, so hopefully you will enjoy that. And I have some very exciting news for you. So now let's just jump right into the video. But in case you're new here, hi, my name is Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially. That's my biggest passion. And I love panning. I've been really enjoying that. I've been doing Project Level Up, Those Eyeshadows, Those palettes, and a couple other different projects. So if you want to check that out, I will link a couple of these projects down below. And in case you're new here, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1K as soon as possible, so that would be very lovely. And now for the eyeshadows. So the rules are as follows. I always have 5 eyeshadows, and there's 3 categories of how I pick my eyeshadows. So the first 3 eyeshadows are shades from palettes that I want to hit pan on or finish this year. So it's my Those palettes and like my focus palettes, and I just randomly pick 3 shades. Then one shade is picked using the list of prompts by Lainey, I believe. So I just randomize a number, pick a prompt, and then find a shade that corresponds to that prompt, which I've been really enjoying that one. And then the last shade is a random shade for my entire collection, like all of my palettes. And obviously the goal for this project is to hit a pan, or if it's a really hard project, or if it's a really hard eyeshadow, or if it's a palette that is new and I don't really want to have pans in there, then I can use the shade 20 times and roll it out. And then for the initial 3 shades that are from my focused palettes, if I would roll a shade that already has a pan, I can choose either to roll it into project, and then the rule wouldn't be to hit a pan but completely use up that eyeshadow, or again I can use it for 20 times and then roll it out. So that's kind of how my rules work. And obviously if I would roll 2 similar shades, then I'm just gonna re-roll, because I'm not gonna be working on 2 exact shades, but that hasn't really happened yet, so I hope it's not gonna happen today either. And here is my color story from last month. All of these were rolled in last month because I was able to hit pan on everything in the previous month. So all of these are new, and we're actually going to be rolling some out because I was successful with a couple of the pans. And maybe you can even see from the look that a couple of them I'm actually wearing on my eyes today to get another use in them and maybe hit a pan. So the shades are, I'm going to go from top to bottom. So the pinky light shade is called Aurora from the Beauty Bay Mini Charms. Then we have the shade Neptune from the Solmane Moon by Those Eyeshadows. Then next up is the shade Fog from the MIYO Makeup The Frogtails palette. Then the deep blue is called Nebula from the Solmane 2 palette, the original Solmane 2. And then the last green shade is called Pixie Dust from the Tinkerbell palette by Colourpop. So those are the shades that I've been working on, and as I said, a couple of them are gonna be rolling out. So now let's just go through the list. First up is the Aurora from the Mini Charms palette by Beauty Bay. I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looked like. Actually, I'm gonna scooch so that I have a little bit more place to actually pop up the picture. But yeah, I think now there should be enough space over here. So I'm gonna pop up a picture of how the shade looked like last month. It had 9 uses, and right now it has 22 uses. And let me kind of show you the whole palette, how it looks like. So as you can see, there is a pan. There actually has been a pan for a while now, because it took me 7 uses to hit a pan. So on its 16th use, there happened to be a pan, and I've used it another like 6 times, because it's also like a palette that I'm trying to use up this year, and it's also currently in other projects. So this one is rolling out, it's done. It was the easiest one, and this one was the one that I knew I'm gonna be able to do. Like, I wasn't sure with the other shades, but this one I knew I'm gonna be able to hit the pan, because I use this palette pretty much every single day. If not on my eyes, then I use it as a highlighter, because these two shades here, this shade, and then this shade, can be used as face highlighters very easily. So half of this palette also functions as face highlighter for me, and it's the shades that are the most used, because they have this like dual use for me. Then next up is the shade Neptune from the Solmane Moon palette by Those Eyeshadows. So this is how the palette looks like. I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looked like last month. And last month we started with 2 uses on this eyeshadow, and currently this eyeshadow has been used 11 times. I'm actually wearing it as a liner. I have the deeper blue matte as a base, and then this on top of it. I've actually done this either 2 or 3 times. 2 maybe. This is the second time that I created an eyeliner like this, and then the other times I would use it all over the lid as a shimmer shade. And here's how the shade looks like right now. I'm gonna also pop up a picture, and hopefully you can see that there is actually a pan. There was like a little bit of a pan last time that I used this shade, but I wanted to use it again today just to make sure and to expand it a little bit so that you can see it in the picture. This shade is pretty chunky, or like it's a very soft formula that moves a lot, and it has a bit more of like chunks. So every single time I would use it as an eyeliner, I had to spray my brush with a setting spray just to make sure that I'm not gonna have blue under eye. But we went from 2 to 11 uses, and that's what it took to hit the pan on this one. Again, these are a lot softer than I'm used to with Udons. I like they used to have a little bit more thicker formula for their shimmers, and like a little bit more compact formula. So it's a little bit easier. And I forgot to mention the weight. So for the Aurora, the palette weight 64.48 grams, and when I hit a pan on that shade Aurora, the weight was 64.29 grams. So I've used up 0.19 grams. Obviously now the weight is even lower because I've used a lot of the other shades, and also the shade Aurora has been used more since hitting pan. But yeah, I was able to use up 0.19 grams of that palette to hit the pan. Again, I didn't only use Aurora, I used a couple other shades a couple times as well. And for the Neptune palette and the Moonwish palette, I only used the Neptune shade, if I remember that correctly. I don't think I reached for other shades here because I was kind of focusing on a lot of other things. So this palette weighed 147.95 grams, and now it weighs 147.94 grams. So we were able to get rid of 0.01 gram. But this palette is kind of weird to weigh because I feel like every single time I put it on a scale, it shows different number for some reason. I don't know why, because like it shouldn't change weight, but this one does it. There are a couple palettes in my collection that whenever I put them on a scale, the number is completely different. And I don't know why, because for other palettes it works perfectly fine. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, this one is also rolling out. Then we have the soft pastel blue matte, which is the shade Fog from the Frog's Tales palette by MIYO Makeup. So I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looked like last month. Last month there were 4 uses of this eyeshadow. It wasn't my most used eyeshadow in this palette, so only 4 uses when we were starting with it. And right now this shade has been used 14 times, so I was able to use it 13 times, so I was able to use it 9 times in the past month, which is a lot. There has been so many blue looks because obviously like this is what we've been working with. So there has been a lot of blue looks, but I've been enjoying them. Like it's really sunny outside and I like these kind of like watery looks. They make me feel a little bit cooler or like colder, I guess, and a little bit, you know, I'm trying to persuade myself that I don't need to sweat so much because I'm not actually that warm. Also, by the way, yesterday evening I colored my hair again. So let me know if you like this color. I've already had similar color before, and this is the Arctic Fox Emerald Fortune. So yeah, it's just such a pretty shade. And I've used a little bit of these like drops. They're from Schwarzkopf, I believe, and it's like a blue bottle of like drops that you put in your either in other hair dyes or you mix it with conditioner to create a semi-permanent or yeah, semi-permanent hair color. So that's what I used, and I just, you know, it's girl summer, so I need to look like a mermaid. That's just a little PSA. But as I said, we've been able to use the shade Fog 9 times, and here is how it looks like. So I will pop up a picture of how it looks like right now, but hopefully you can see that there. And these pans in the MIYO makeup palette are quite shallow. Like they're not the most shallow, but they're definitely not like super deep either, and they're not filled to the brim. Like there's, yeah, they're quite shallow. I think you can even see that the dip isn't that big, and we already have a pan, so it doesn't take too much of use. But again, we're at 14 uses currently, sorry, 13 uses currently, so still not it's not like I haven't used it at all. So this shade is also rolling out. So the blue shade, so the shade Fog is also rolling out of the project. Then next up we have the shade Nebula from the Solmane 2 by Uden's Eye, which is the deep blue shade. So again, I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looked like last month. Last month there were 13 uses of this eyeshadow. That's where we started, and now the eyeshadow is at 25 uses. So I was able to use it 12 times in the last month. Again, I'm telling you, a lot of blue looks, and I've used it a lot as an eyeliner. And sometimes I would use it all over the lid and then blending it out with the fog shade with the light blue just in the crease. So I was just trying to like really get some uses on it, and this is like the most compact shade that I've ever tried from Uden's Eye. So it's gonna take a lot of, so it will take a lot of uses to hit a pan. Usually for Uden's Eye, I do hit a pan after like 20-25 uses, which we currently are at 25 uses. But here is how the eyeshadow looks like. So as you can see, I don't have a pan yet. I've been using it a lot as an eyeliner, so there is a good dip happening, but it's still gonna take me, like, I think at least 10 uses to be able to roll it out. I will try to roll it out by the next update, but it's gonna take a while. So again, I'm gonna pop up a picture so that you can see it better, but yeah, this one's gonna take quite some time. But still, I'm very happy that I was able to use it 12 times. I think that's a really good progress on a shade, and I would love to have a pan in this eyeshadow soon. So that's for the Solmane 2 palette. And then the last shade is this green one, and as I said, it's the shade Pixie Dust from the Tinkerbell palette by Colourpop. So I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looked like, and as you can see, it already had a huge pan. For me, this shade is one of those that I want to finish up completely because there's already a pan, and also I would love to finish these shades before the end of the year. It's kind of part of my Pandos palettes for this year. So this one we were at 17 uses, and now we're at 24, so I was able to use it 7 times, and I have it in this little pan. So I'm gonna show you a picture. I think you can see that the pan has expanded a lot. Or you know what, maybe it didn't have a pan when I rolled it in, but that's because I repressed this shade. So yeah, that now I remembered. So it didn't have a pan in the picture, in the previous picture, but the layer of eyeshadow in the pan was very low because I already had a huge pan last year, and I decided to repress the shade because it was crumbling a lot. So there was just like a tiny little layer, and the first time I've used it after rolling it into this project, I created a huge pan because obviously if you use it all over the lid, then you're gonna create a really large pan. And I've been able to use it, as I said, 7 times in the past month. There's still a bit of eyeshadow around the borders. I've tried to use it once as a nail polish, but this one is a little bit too of a dry formula, so for me it doesn't work as a nail polish, which is kind of annoying because I mean, it's not a bad shade. From the ColourPop shimmers, this one is one of the better ones. I actually have it on my lower lash line, and that's how I've been using it. Just kind of an accent on the lower lash line, because I don't need the lower lash line to be like overly sparkly. Obviously, if it is, I don't mind that, but I definitely want the top lash to be a lot, or like the top lid to be a lot sparklier. So for the lower lash line, this is fine, and I've been using that quite a bit, also with the other blue shades. So this one isn't done yet, and here you can see the color shade that we're continuing with. So that's the shade Nebula and the shade Pixie Dust, and we're gonna be rolling out and we're gonna be rolling in three new shades. So first up is gonna be the Prompts by Lanie's. So let me actually get my Tiny Decisions app, because I think I have, yeah, I have the prompts here. So I think it's 82 options right now. I think I got rid of the shades, the prompts that we've already used, but if I didn't, then, you know, I guess we're gonna have to re-roll. So will this start on its own? No. Okay, so let me start. And what is it? Rarely wear but love. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna have to figure out an eyeshadow for that. Then another prompt will be a random number from the palettes that I want to have a pan on. So that's the hello. So we'll see what we're gonna get, and we're gonna have one shade from this. Okay, so it's the shade Wicked from the Shroud Cosmetics collab with Betty Bean. I think I kind of like Wicked, but it is so similar to shades that I have in my Pandos palette. So you know what, I'm gonna re-roll. I haven't done that a lot, so I think we can afford that. So I'm actually gonna re-roll. And we have the shade Just Now. I don't remember where is that from. Just Now. Maybe that's from Uden's Eye, so that would be great. So Just Now. And I'm gonna have to find it later. And now we're gonna randomize a number from my entire collection. So I've updated my spreadsheet and took out all the eyeshadows that already are completely used up or have a pan and I don't want to hit a pan on them. Hopefully I was able to get rid of everything. And also I got rid of the palettes in the spreadsheet that I no longer have, that I decluttered in the past 2 months, because there were a couple kind of newer ones that I decided to let go of because I didn't need them and they were kind of repetitive. So currently we have 988 eyeshadows to work on. So let me get my pretty random. Okay. Okay, sorry, my camera cut me off, so I don't know if you've seen the number, but it's 189. Which is the shade Niepozorny in the Glam Shop Sorbeti palette. And since I've been kind of waiting for my camera to like reset, I've been able to find all the shades. and find out how many uses I have on them and the weight of them. So first up we have the Bronze, which is the shade that I rarely wear but love. And it's actually a palette that I haven't used a lot this year, and I would love to get a use on it. And it's a shade that, again, like I used to wear it all the time like 2 years ago, and it was one of my favorite shades, but then I kind of forgot to wear it. And also I've had so many other shades that I've been focusing on, but it is a shade that I absolutely love. And I don't get to wear it as often lately. So I have the Serpent palette by Mika Beauty Shop in collaboration with Martha's Makeup. And I decided to pick a shade called Forewarning, which is this beautiful neon yellow, which I think will be perfect for the summer. And it is so pretty. It's absolutely stunning. I'm gonna pop up a picture of how it looks like currently, and let me actually swatch it on my hand. I feel like it's gonna be such a nice color story with the two previous shades. Like, this is what we have. Like, isn't that beautiful color story? I was kind of also like trying to match it, but this one this one currently has 9 uses on it. I don't know how long it takes to hit a pan on Mika mats because I've never done that, but the palette has 165.52 grams of product, so we'll see how far we're gonna go with it. And I would like to at least try to use a couple of the other shades as well, because there are 3 shades that are kind of close to pan, so maybe I could like use this to hit a pan on the shade Forewarning, and also maybe get bonus pans in this palette because I've had it for so long. It's such a well-used palette in my collection. I've been loving it for a very long time, and I want it to look like I've been loving it for a very long time. Then next up was the random number from the palettes that I want to hit pan on or use up this year, and it picked a shade from my Christmas palette by Udens Eye. It's actually the Christmas Eve palette by Udens Eye, and it's one of the few shades, I think it's one of 2 shades in that palette that don't have a pan yet, so it's wonderful because then I'm gonna have some kind of progress on my Pendos palettes. And it's the shade Just Now, which I actually have repressed in this Earth palette. So it's the center shade that I haven't been focusing on a lot because I've had so many other greens from other palettes that I've been trying to use up. But the shade Just Now has currently 13 uses, and as I said, Udens Eye usually takes me like 20 to 25 uses. For matte, it's usually around 25, so if I'm gonna really focus on this, and I could use this a lot in my brows now, I could roll it out next month, but we'll see. Currently, this little palette has 105.63 grams, but I've been trying to completely use up this shade for the past month, so maybe in the next update, if I'm gonna have a pan on the shade Just Now, I might also have this shade completely used up from this palette, so that is just like a PSA. But that's another, I feel like every single month we're gonna have something green, which, like, I love greens, but also I've been focusing on them so much because of my Pendos palettes, and it's also been rolled a lot in my Project 20 Uses palettes. So, you know, I almost am starting to be like annoyed by greens, almost, like, still not fully. This is the shade Just Now, by the way. Again, it fits so well. Like, I love these peacocky shades, so still very happy. And then the random number from my entire collection, as I said, was from the Sorbeti palette by Glam Shop and the shade Nepozorny. I'm actually really happy that it's this palette because I want to bring this palette with me for my vacation that's gonna start kind of the last day of July, and it's gonna continue in the first week of August. So I know I'm gonna be using this palette. That's what I'm trying to say. And the shade Nepozorny is actually super easy because it's this neutrally shade. So I guess I'm gonna start setting my primer, which I've never done, but you know, we're gonna do it now so that I can hit a pan on this. Again, don't know how long it takes for Glam Shop to hit a pan on, because the shades that I have from Glam Shop that I have a pan on are shades that I depotted. So also, like, they might have had a little bit of damage on them from the depotting. So then it's like a little bit easier to hit a pan. But I don't know if you're gonna see the last shade. It's pretty much my skin tone, just like slightly more cooler toned, I guess. A little bit more, yeah, a little bit more cooler toned. But pretty much my, like the depth of my skin, so you might not even see that it's under the green shade. So yeah, I'm just gonna set my eyes with it and hopefully hit a pan on it. And this one has only been used once. I don't use these shades, but I'm gonna learn to do that. At least this project will inspire me to try something new. And this palette currently weighs 142.78 grams. So we'll see how far we're gonna go with this one. But that's, as I said, my previous color story, and this is the new color story. Overall, I'm very happy with the new color story. It's definitely getting a little bit more colorful because obviously in the previous months I've been working on majority of green color stories. Like, I'm gonna try to link down below the previous update so you can see that it's been pretty much always green. Last month we had a pretty much all blue color story, and now we're mixing blue and green. Isn't that fun? So I'm very happy for this, and yeah, let's see how well I'm gonna do. Let me know down below what is your prediction for me, how many shades you think I'm gonna be able to roll out next month, and if you are doing any project pan, let me know down below how you've been doing in the last month and what were like your accomplishments, or if you had or if you've been struggling with any shade, let me know down below. I would love to know your journey. And that's gonna be everything for today for me. So hope you've had a great day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.